Residential schools were the focus of the Pope's apology today. But what about the hundreds of thousands of Indigenous people in this country who went through the same experience, just through a different educational system? Alexander Quant reports.
Many people might not be familiar with Indian Day schools, but they likely are with the experiences of survivors. Indigenous children were forced to attend these day schools where there were reports of physical, mental, and sexual abuse. And like residential schools, experts say this education system also stripped Indigenous people of their culture and language. The only difference? Day school survivors were allowed to go home at night.
Just two sides of the same coin. I tell people it was really just up to luck and, to be honest, logistics and money where you're located if you're going to an Indian day school or residential school.
There were roughly 700 confirmed day schools across Canada, located in every province and territory except Newfoundland and Labrador. It's believed more than 200,000 Indigenous children attended day schools, roughly 50,000 more than residential schools. This week, Pope Francis is in Canada to acknowledge the role many members of the Catholic Church played in the residential school system. But in his formal apology Monday, the pontiff said he's aware of the trauma suffered by all Indigenous people across the country.
The words that I speak throughout this penitential journey are meant for every Native community and person.
While there has been a public reckoning with residential schools in Canada, there has yet to be one for day schools, and survivors say that needs to change.
Would the Pope come in here to apologize? I do understand and completely respect if the apology is meant for Indian residential school students. For me, if that helps to heal, absolutely, I support that. And so I guess the question becomes, okay, if that's done, would there be a forthcoming apology for the Indian day school students?
Experts also say to fully understand the scope of day schools, another public inquiry, like the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, may be needed. This time, it would need to focus on day schools, which were not part of the original commission.
It's easier to show the residential schools as being so horrific today now because of everything that's been found, whereas the Indian day schools were doing just as much crime and punishments and experiments on Indigenous students that we still haven't come to terms with. So I think that's definitely problematic.
The Pope's apology is meant to serve as the new beginning for action and healing in Canada, but for some survivors of Indian day schools, that process has yet to start. Alexander Kwan, CBC News, Regina.
Support is available for anyone affected by residential schools. You can call the 24-hour National Crisis Line for access to emotional and crisis referral services. The number 1-866-925-4419.